Hello there gamers, welcome to an MGL Mix special with me, Respawn Rossco, and we've been going through EGX and all the stuff that's been going on there over the past week when we went there. It was really cool. We've got lots of videos for you, so we've got a big Indies update. The Indies update is always the main one on mygameslounge.com, so check out the Indie update. There were 10 amazing indie games from my perspective. They were what I did. There were a number of other ones there that will be covered on mygameslounge.com too, but no, check that out. Lots of cool indies at EGX. And then we've also got all the different publishers. So we've got EA, who brought in Mirror's Edge Catalyst that was stunning, and Star Wars Battlefield that was just brilliant fun to play. Ubisoft brought in Assassin's Creed Syndicate set in London, which is going to be an interesting one. It does look very good, as well as The Division, which just was the perfect game for me to play. Loved that outstanding game, as well as Rainbow Six, of course. Then we've also had the Sony stand, which didn't really offer too much, but it did offer some cool insight into virtual reality and the Nathan Drake collection, but it was mainly third party. On the other side was the Xbox stand, and the Xbox stand had some cool stuff there. They had Halo 5 multiplayer, which was great to play. If a little Destiny comparatives can be made, obviously Destiny inspired by Halo originally, but depending on your perspective, you might want to check that video out and see what I've got to say on that one. And also Rise of the Tomb Raider there, which was just my perfect game. If it wasn't Uncharted 4, it would be that. So with that being said, there were lots of other things as well. There were bits, shall we say, but we don't want to give these games that were kind of just sat there on their own kind of not the attention they deserve. So the first one I want to talk about is an interesting one. I played the original Homefront, and when it was THQ games, obviously THQ had their difficulties and everything got divided up and sold on, and part of that was Homefront. Homefront was sold on, and Deep Silver have got the license now, and not really expecting much. I wanted to have a go on the game, and I did, and really enjoyed it. Now, this was a very gritty game. Now that appeals to me. I tend not to like shooters that are all glossy and glamorized things, and this certainly doesn't do that. This game feels real. It feels dark, it feels dingy, and the enemies you face feel dangerous. You do not feel like you are some kind of godlike champion. You feel like if you engage these enemies on your own, you will die. You will die. So it's an interesting one, that. There's lots of danger all around. There's lots of destruction all around. There's quite a lot of bleak atmosphere around. And speaking to the developer about it, I had a good chat with a guy called CJ, who is a former developer for Ubisoft. He worked on Far Cry 4, believe it or not. So this is quite a good guy to get in and work on a game like this kind of open world game. And the game's divided into a few different zones, and I was playing in the red zone, which is like the no man's zone, if you like. Everything's very dangerous in there. Enemies will shoot on sight. There's drones everywhere patrolling, and those drones were difficult to shake off, I can tell you. You had to destroy them, but when you destroyed them, they could obviously call in reinforcements and things. It was very dangerous. It felt like it very much felt like a game that was more out to challenge you than to allow you to be a super soldier, and I liked that factor. It's a bit different. You couldn't zip around like you could, but then there were those Far Cry elements to it where you could get on a bike, and I said to him, I felt something familiar. I hopped on a bike and started racing around, and it felt a little Far Cry like. So there's those kind of things in there. I'm impressed, and I'm very impressed by the dedication of the developer I spoke to. We've got an interview coming up this Friday on mygameslounge.com, so you can check in on Friday the 9th of October, and you'll be able to see an interview quite at length with CJ, who's developing this game, and it's good. It is very good. I could have spent a lot longer with the demo, to be honest. I really enjoyed it. Bit something different in the first person shooter genre. So one to watch there, guys. Could be a much improved version of the first game, because the first game had promise, but obviously poor execution, I think, was the main problems with it. Following on from that, a little bit further up, Square Enix was there. Now, I was a bit saddened, really, because to say they are coming out later in the year, you got not later in this year, early next year. You got Deus Ex and you have Hitman. Now Hitman's obviously been put back a little bit, which is probably a good idea because there's just too many games this year. And Deus Ex is coming out, and they just had kind of like presentations. That's nice. I like presentations. I don't mind them. I just feel like, Mirror's Edge Catalyst was there. That's coming out at a similar time. So they could have perhaps shown a demo. I'm sure they have shown a demo at other conferences. But they did have a massive Just Cause 3 stand. Now, this is one cool game. But something strange happened to me, as something strange it always does. I got a bugged version of the game. So what was supposed to happen was I was supposed to be dumped in the open world in a little village, town, city thing, and just be able to like blow things up and just have a bit of fun. And what happened was the game kept throwing me into the story mode, so I kept starting like a new game. And well, that's not my fault. So let's have a think about it. Let's have a talk. So I was Rico Rodriguez, and I was starting the main plot, and not to do any plot points in or anything, no spoilers, but I was involved in quite a heavy firefight. First of all on a plane, then parachuting down, some fight on the land and getting into vehicles, and it was really, really good. Then I got told off and put back into the open world again eventually on the second attempt. The first attempt threw me back straight into the story mode, so I had to do a full kind of reboot on it and put me into the open world. And I'll be honest, the open world bit felt a little bit too open after that. I was quite into the story bit, to be honest, but it's an open world sandbox of fun. If obviously Avalanche Studios have made like Mad Max, which has got this kind of like gritty realism to it, it's a good game, maybe not as good as it could have been, but it's still a very good game. This one's a little bit obviously like the old Just Cause. It's like if it's red, it requires blowing up in the most ridiculous way possible. Steal a helicopter, fly it into things, blow it up. It's cool, it's fun, it looks really good. I mean really good. Nothing seemed to, other than the actual setup being wrong. I mean, that's not their fault if the demo's wrong. The game itself to play, there wasn't really anything wrong with it. The shooting was really good. The action was cool. Everything exploding was good. The actual engineering of it looks a solid build. I'm very impressed with Just Cause 3. I think that's going to be a really cool game this Christmas. And Rico Rodriguez is a good character. I won't say, as I said, I won't spoil anything, but there was some nice voice acting going on, a bit of cheesy, funny dialogue between the characters in the story bits that I shouldn't have seen but did. So yeah, it was good. I enjoyed Just Cause 3. That was enjoyable as an action-packed game that went slightly wrong for both Square Enix and myself, but I thought it was good. Moving over to the next room, I managed to grab a quick go on Dragon Quest Heroes. I was just moving away. I don't know what I was doing. I think I was moving from one thing to another. I just saw it kind of hiding in a corner, and I was been looking for it for so long, and I had to go quite soon. So I did manage to have a quick go on Dragon Quest Heroes, guys, because I'm a big RPG person. Dragon Quest Heroes was good. It looked really colourful, vibrant, just as you would expect Dragon Quest. You would expect a Dragon Quest game to look. But obviously it's next gen now, and it was being played like cooperatively between the guys that were sat down. You could play between people in your party, taking on like monsters and things in the world. Again, it seemed like more just like an explore, get into encounters type deal. But that was cool. I really liked the look of that. I would have liked to have played more than like the minute I got with it, which is a shame. But that looks good. If you're a Dragon Quest type person, I can tell you from just like first impressions, very, very initial first impressions, that looks good and a game you want to watch out for. The same goes with Street Fighter 5. There was Street Fighter was there, and I had a quick blast on that, and it's just good. I mean, it's just great. Street Fighter is one of those classic games. Doesn't matter which version it is, I will get it and I will enjoy it. Really responsive, really vibrant colours, really cool character designs and artwork. Looks really good. I think there were some games that just kind of ended up forced kind of into like little areas and things that perhaps they could have done with being out there a bit more. It was a shame. Obviously everything's centered around the massive TIE fighter that was in the middle, and obviously Star Wars Battlefront and the EA stuff. But there were some good games there. There was some very good stuff there. Now, the last thing we just like to say, they had a huge like rock band set on, and that was just wicked. It was really, really entertaining. There were some guys doing like the singing and the band members taking part. That just looks so much fun. It's not my usual kind of thing to play that, but that looked cool. As well as the last one that we'll talk about, which is Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Now that was there obviously enforced. Now because of the recent beta of the game, it wasn't that crazy busy as it was. Obviously everyone was piling into Battlefront, so Call of Duty for a change wasn't that busy. And this is the worry with the game. There's a lot of first-person multiplayer shooters coming out around the same time as Call of Duty this year. Is it going to be the year where Call of Duty isn't the top shooter out there? Who knows? I mean, Activision are doing quite well off Destiny, so it's not like they need the money, but they expect it. And it's moved over to PlayStation. PlayStation have paid a lot for the third-party kind of rights to it, to kind of advertise it and to be the console of Call of Duty. That's an interesting one. It plays good, it plays fun, it played like the beta does. I enjoyed my time with the multiplayer there, it was cool. I like the specialists. I do think they need to work on those specializations to make them a little bit more even. But Black Ops 3 was good, but it's got a lot of competition, and it's got big competition in Star Wars Battlefront. And obviously then you've got other first-person shooters coming out like Rainbow Six Siege as well. So there were some good games in general there, to be honest with you. I really enjoyed EGX this year. I think the quality was high, and this was on old builds. This was on games that have been there for a while. So very, very intrigued as to what the future is going to hold for some of the final copies of this game. But you can find that all out on mygameslounge.com coming up this month and next and through December as well. We're going to do as much as we possibly can. Make sure you're on My Games Lounge today. Check out the indie update with 10 indie games for you there, 10 quality indie games you really want to check out. There's one that's launching this week in Sub-Level Zero. We've got an interview coming up on that too. Loads of interviews coming up later on mygameslounge.com this week. Also today you've got EA games looking more in depth at Star Wars Battlefront and Mirror's Edge Catalyst, as well as Plants vs Zombies and Need for Speed. And we've also got a Ubisoft one looking at Assassin's Creed Syndicate, Rainbow Six Siege, and The Division. My pick of the Ubisoft bunch there. And we've also got a video on Sony and Microsoft and what they brought to the table at this year's EGX. Gaming's looking good though, guys. Gaming's looking good. Get those wallets ready. Brace them, because gaming is coming. And you need to have those pennies ready to throw at them, especially with all these wonderful collector's editions with shiny statues and wonderful DLC packs. You're going to need a few quid extra as well. It's going to be crazy. Keep yourself on mygameslounge.com for all the latest, and I will see you there. Thank you for joining us.